let's get into cities. Let's see what we're up to today. And do let me know if the audio is not improved and I'm wrong about these. So where did we finish up last week? We've still got a bit of the old town. We took all the industry and moved it to the new industry development. And we've still got all of the residential and commercial here that I want to move into the new residential and commercial zone here. I remember we'd just set up the university with a metro connection through this part of the city. So that's in place. Feel like we're probably in a good position to start, or to probably finish dismantling the whole of the old town by the end of today's stream. Might just want to change my water connections where they are on the river as part of that. And then, yes, the industrial town. I was considering making bigger blocks to try and alleviate the traffic issues. And this freeway entrance obviously needs tidying up because that's very not square. I certainly feel, even if I put a second entrance into the industrial section to the south of it, that we would have too much traffic coming in such a tight area. So I'm in favour of redoing the blocks bigger, like this one in the corner. So they'll be similar to the residential ones. They'll have a little hole in the middle, which you might say it's wasted space, but there's no point in filling it in and then not being able to get the traffic here to stay profitable. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start. So these should be 6-lane roads with parking spaces. Upgrade those. Take out the central roads. Zone in those extra bits. Now we have to demolish the businesses that are no longer within the zone. If I just de-zone, demolish everything, rezone it nice and neat. That's nicer. Let's do one. They should rebuild quite quickly because I've got a solid supply of everything I need, so I wouldn't foresee any issues. They just need a little bit of time. I don't want to wipe out all of my industry all at once. I guess once the buildings are... the demand is quite low, so that could slow them down. Increasing, so our next step of residential will be over here by the university. Put those roads in as well. So they are these ones with parking going down and across at that level. But this one's a bus lane with trees down the middle. Are the next blocks. We've also got plenty that can still be upgraded in terms of density. Should we do, yeah, we've got medium demand, so let's do another block of high density residential. 2. Keep it all symmetrical. They'll also need some time to build up. The next spot for commercial development is down here, which we can't fill in until we take out some of the old town. So let's start that process and see how badly it impacts us. I'm going to de-zone the first row along the top here. And people we're losing from there can hopefully move into the new high density buildings up here. Hopefully. Power issue. We took out the houses that had a connection. Don't want the entirety of the old town to collapse yet, so do need to reconnect those things. This landfill is empty. Good news. How are our incinerators doing? We'll just let them run for a bit to build down their reserves, and then we'll start emptying the last of the landfills at the old town. Okay, so residential demand didn't go up, so everyone who moved out has moved in okay. The industries are all constructed there, so we can do the next block here. Upgrade the roads. Not that one. Okay, misclicks don't hurt. All that, and then rezone industrial in. There we go. Might as well do this block while we're here because it's only half a block. No, that one, and demolish those ones. Zone in industrial. There we go. Okay. There's no real great demand for anything at the moment. We ought to just let the city kind of stabilise for a bit of time in between all these rezonings. So if we've cleared that, I can start clearing the road out of the way. Leave the connection in so it keeps functioning. Although that does mean I can't. Just kind of want to move that over somewhat, temporarily at least. Let's put a big road right there. Take those away. Weird bit of zoning there. Tidy that up. Not sure how that stayed there. That. Just want to remove those traffic lights. There's none there, are there? No. Okay. Let's extend the blocks down here as well then. So that's that type of road down and across. Then the one with the trees and the bus lanes here. Not that I'm confident that the bus lanes are actually working how they should, but it does kind of look pretty, which I like. So I think in the residential areas is looking no issues at all. Especially the flyover bridge section, because that's probably the busiest route of people coming off the main road who want to be the other side of it. Everything seems to be flowing quite nicely. It's just still, I guess, around this section, the volume of traffic not only going into our industrial zone but also heading northbound on a single track. So it could be, once I've tidied up the entrance to the industrial zone, that we redo this junction to handle a higher volume. I think we will need to. How are things going here? Still a couple of slots that have not filled in. Incinerators have got some space, so I'm going to start emptying that last landfill. Do need to remember, because I do always forget, to redraw the pipelines for water and sewerage. Every time I put a new section of the grid in, so it needs to come down another block. And the one at the top is already done because I put it in when I put the university in, I suppose. Okay, what have we got? Growing demand for residential. This lot is all constructed. It's interesting that they have parking spots but they're using the road. Maybe they just don't visualise the cars on those. Not sure. So these ones would be the next logical ones to increase the density on. There we go. Let's check our power supplies. Yeah, it's, now that we've got an oil-fired power plant, don't really have any power issues. Could demolish these wind ones probably. It's making 120 on its own, and we need 180. So we need to keep them for now. No people complaining in the city. Just need to keep burning through our backlog of rubbish. I think I've built everything that we can provide. Healthcare's good. Elder care is not. It's because the only one we've got is in the old town. Should I build an elder care facility? 2, I suppose. Distance on them isn't brilliant. Don't really want to build them. The next place I would probably be the next block over, which does cover a good amount. If I do one on each end, we can do that. I'm not sure if it's worth it. There's only one sick senior. It's just senior healthcare is at 70%, which is low. The lifespan is fine. Childcare is at 90%. General care is at 80%. Don't think it's worth worrying about yet. Plenty of cemetery coverage for now. When do we unlock crematorium? That's 18,000 people. Which we're only 2/3 of the way to that, so that'll be a while. Fire coverage is looking good. Police coverage is looking good. Education. This is another, or I think I might have misunderstood how it works. I don't think I need all 6 of these, because we're only at half capacity, though each can have 300 students, so we do need 5 of them. So we do, might as well keep all 6. I think the bit that I've misunderstood is about how it turns the road green. That's not to do with who they can educate. That's to do with houses that get happy about having a nearby school. Anyone can be educated there if they just take transport to get there. High schools still okay for capacity. Our university covers plenty of people. There's even a few people who have graduated university. That's cool, very cool. We need those to make an office sector. Not sure where we're going to put an office sector, but we'll make one at some point in the future. Haven't put a library in. So I could put a library in that mirrors the university. It's an option. If I do that, I can also put the metro station where it would belong. I like that idea. We'll reduce the amount of commercial that we can fit in that spot. If I move it over to an edge, that would be better. So let's put the little road in. How did I do it up this end? Yeah, leaving a gap at the end. So put the library in there. And the metro station. I need to demolish the track that's in the way. Let's pause while I do that. That to be central so that the track doesn't curve excessively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on one side, 7 on the other, yep. Then track. We have a nice symmetrical, even looking metro loop. Just need to change this, yeah, drag like that to add this stop to the 2 loops that we've got. Yeah, it's functioning according to all those numbers, so that's good. That is connected. I can unpause and they'll continue on their way. And then I can fill in the commercial zoning around that block. So the metro is well placed to take people from the centre of our high density residential either to the university or the library. Might want to move our bus stop so it's closer to the metro station. Possibly. One way I could do that is to put to carry the road through this little track that takes into the park, and the metro station could connect on the North Street, and the bus stop up there would be closer to walking distance. It creates another junction on that road, which I don't necessarily want. Could do a funny road that connects at that junction that already exists. Is there... The smallest road is a gravel road, but I really want... It's like a pedestrian only road. Which I think might be a DLC item that I don't have. suppose I could just use the gravel road and then use the traffic mod to forbid all traffic on it. Wipes out quite a few houses. Can even go different direction entirely. I think I would prefer to just move that bus stop down. That seems like a more, or a good compromise for it, I suppose. That's a closer walking distance to the metro, and then that one on that side's already down. Move that one down, and I want check the ones before as well. Or is that? That's right. That one's already in place. Okay, so bus stops and metro stops all in good locations. Wonder if we're even making any money off them. Oh no, definitely not. It's hardly worth charging money for them at all. Because you can, there's a policy or something, isn't there? I can work out how to get that menu to open. I had that same problem last time I played. I think there is a policy that lets you give free public transport, which would further reduce like individual traffic. We can probably afford it. Our income's reasonable and we don't make much income from the buses and trains anyway. Still have the traffic income or inflow problem in the industrial. It's a lot of trucks. We'll look at that after I've done relaying out everything over here. So let's take out the unnecessary grids where we haven't built anything yet. I wish the demolish noise wasn't so loud. Okay, and then start redoing the next row down. Try to not accidentally demolish power plant. Ah, that's going to be an issue. I'm changing the width of that road, so I need to move the power plant up one. Fill in the zones, there we go. That's all good. How is 70% full on that landfill? Still going to take a while to empty out. Highest demand at the moment is for more commercial. I don't have a plan for where I'm going to put more in. Could be in the next square down, because I didn't put in as much commercial as I was originally planning, because I decided to put the university and now the public library in. So I think we could do another square with commercial. Then again, that creates a lot more space for residential that we might not necessarily need. Could be that we need 2 more squares of commercial, which could go here. on the flanks of the next one. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 residential to 2 commercial, or 8 residential and 1 commercial. Sure, well, I mean, we can always rezone. It won't hurt to. Let's just put some commercial in, so we'll start on that one and that one. See how that changes things. Ready for more industrial, so do the next few bits. Good. We can, these ones I didn't get round to yet, I'll upgrade them as well. I think I also might fill the square in, and then there'll be a small district on the end here that is not oil specialised and it's just generic industry. A very small district. Might not even be worth it, but I mean, I want to put the grid there anyway to make it square. It's interesting. Think about that as we come to it. Also have to consider if I want to put a second entrance to the industrial zone at the south end of it. Do I have it go across and into the residential at the same level? I don't think so. I want extra entrances to the residential, but I think I might keep them all the way, keep developing it all the way up to the cross road on the freeway and join it from there instead. If we buy a couple of squares to the south, we could tidy that up in a similar manner. Still got quite a bit of development to do before we reach that point anyway. Sorting this junction out is going to be the priority, because there's a proper tailback there. It does not flow well. Some sort of giant roundabout would do better. We'll see, we'll try a few different things in that space when we come to it. Commercial, happy with what we put in. There's a little bit of demand for residential. Let's do another block on each side. Industrial buildings are all rebuilt, yeah. Close enough. Do the next lot. Just do another one straight away. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's sort the whole lot out and then it's done. so next time we want more industrial, we can just start filling those blocks in. Add these extra roads to make it square. Then those central roads are now unnecessary, I think, so turn that around and take them out. Need some fire, okay. Check that district, so I can move the oil plant down to where there's no oil resource. So it might be that just the edges of these squares where you can just kind of tell from the ground it changes colour. So the darker grass has no oil. So we can put some services there perhaps, instead of a whole district just for a little square. Okay. These junctions still aren't ideal. There's people in the outside lane turning in, which is definitely wrong. Them to go that way. Middle lane can go either way. Outside lane goes over. A couple of wasted lanes there, so let's hook those up. And these guys should stay on the inside, so they won't interfere with the traffic coming inbound. Next one over, just simply want one lane to one lane. Should improve traffic flow. Just got to deal with people changing lane on the straight. Which should be long enough that they can do it. Hopefully, without causing too much issue. There's just quite a few trucks coming onto this road on the inside lane and going out on the outside lane, which is interesting that they don't take the other route down. This one's going to be slightly different until we clear out that landfill that's there. It's going to need to allow them in and out. Then it needs extending, yes, okay. Interesting. Don't particularly want them coming all the way to the bottom of there to get back onto that junction there. So we may need to add the extra junction to the freeway. So they come, so this road rejoining is no longer necessary. To do that, I need to clear out the old town. So okay, let's leave this as it is for now. So everyone's exiting there, and once we've cleared out the old town we can redo the connection from the freeway to the industrial zone. we have a horrific traffic jam. What has caused that? Just trucks delivering from the looks of it. Yeah. As far as I can tell, the trucks seem to be moving in general. I don't know. So we've got no... that'll be the issue. We do have a whole bunch of traffic lights everywhere. I can't be changing all those roads. Let's go around disabling all them. No more traffic lights. Everything should flow a little bit better. I hope. So that comes, so 40% left in that landfill. That's making good progress. We've got high demand for industrial, so let's shove a bunch of that in. Finish those blocks off. Have they? Yeah, they've got water already. They don't have bus coverage. So let's look at that. They've become quite messy. So the blue and the green are the ones coming in from the residential area. I don't want to put them at the top actually. I'm going to put the green one there and the blue one there. Then I just want to move, so yeah, a purple one that's just around the corner is good. Do I need multiple routes now in the industrial area? I mean, one with lots of buses should be best, in my opinion. But this is a right jumble and I can't work out what's going on, so let's just move some stops around until we get straight lines. If we're starting here, the next one to be there. Not necessarily. Is that making such a mess? I think it's going to be easier to start again. Let's wipe out the purple line. So we want one route that's covering the whole of all of these squares. It starts next to where these drop-offs are. So it could start on the other side of the road. So that it does. So it starts there. I don't really want the pedestrians crossing the road every stop. So inside of the square, of every square. The next one round, or do I skip one? It's quite a distance to walk, so I think we put them into every block. This is the last block is unnecessary, so from the end of that one just send them back to the start, I guess. Anywhere else worth stopping? Don't think so. That'll do. Let's just check the lines, recolour that to purple so I don't lose my mind. So the transfer from residential to industrial is 2 stops with 9 vehicles just because of the distance, I guess. The internal ones have 6 or 7 stops. That should be the same. So I need to look at why that's different. And yeah, that purple line's got 21 stops, 8 vehicles. It's interesting. I was kind of expecting more vehicles than that. Maybe it'll go up if the passenger number goes up. Let's look at why the red and yellow lines have got different number of stops. The yellow has got 1 opposite where it goes out. 2, 3. Ah, that's why. 2 stops right next to each other. Probably because I was fiddling with it like I am now. So that one's at the end, but this one allows a stop in the middle of the block, which other places haven't allowed. Funny. There we go. Bus lines are set up. There's a shortage of workers, but medium demand for industry. Sure how that works. This is a demand for a different type of industry. Or maybe there's a demand for offices because our university's been working. Still have no plan of where I'm going to put offices and how, so they may just have to deal with that for a while. Traffic is still bad coming into the industrial zone. And that's because most of these are coming off at Dean Street. All the buses come off at Dean Street. They're flowing reasonably enough. Is it because they slow down coming into Dean Street? If we let them continue at the highway speed until they reach the junction, then they'll slow down on Dean Street instead of ahead of it. Possibly the traffic issue may also be caused by all these people going from lane 1 to lane 6 on this Laurel Street, in the middle of Laurel Street. Can I improve that if I force the middle of Laurel Street to stay in lane? It's not ideal, is it? Because all it does is forces them off at Dean Street and back on at Evans Boulevard. Because they join, and it just moves the problem further down Laurel Street. Then again, it's not necessarily bad. Further down it is, the less of an issue it causes on the highway. Not sure about that. I'd have less of an issue if the highway also had 6 lanes. Which I guess is an option. If we split these 6 lanes into 2 highways of 3 each, and have one of them rejoin at one point and the other rejoin at a different point. Excessive, perhaps, but I'll bear that in mind. Okay, that landfill's at 20%. Let's start taking down more of the old town. In fact, looking at it, I think we're stable enough to tear down most of it. I'll take out 2 more blocks. Get rid of the elder care facility. Parks. The cemetery needs emptying as well. Didn't think about that. May have a capacity issue there. Need to get to more people quicker. What's that? An elementary school. And fire and police and all of that, of course. Very unhappy, but there we go. The houses are going to be demolished soon as well. So having taken all that out, let's upgrade the density on another few areas. Don't cause too much instability at once, so we'll just wait a little bit for some more. I reckon we need to put an elder care facility in. Yeah, the average elderly health is dropping 60% now. So I did think about next block over, especially if I want 2 of them. Outside is also another option where the extra elementary schools are. Don't like that as much. I don't think there's anything I would be happy moving internally either. So let's go with next block over. Might as well put 2 in. Stay symmetrical, keep me happy. Here is education capacity. Still room. Not enough high schools. So we have 2 doing 1,000 each. We've got nearly 3,000 students. Okay. Anyway, good to put them over other than perhaps on the next block. Don't like that idea yet. I'll plop them somewhere and then move them later if needs be. Putting them so close to the other ones is kind of moot. Put them near the metro station. This is going to be filled in with commercial. Let's do that. I'll put 2 more in. Inside those commercial blocks. I demand for more industrial. I'm not sure how much I can trust that, but The zoning we've built has got businesses there, even if some of those businesses look like dumping ground. Let's zone in a bit more. Let's check the water. To run that a little differently. Just making tidier lines. There's a mod that makes demolition not so noisy. Okay, that's better. That landfill's at 8%. Cemetery's still got a long way to go. Ah, what's happened here? The land value has dropped because I've demolished everything around. Guess that'll make them level down, or I guess we might just abandon it and need rebuilding. That being the case, we might as well demolish it all now. Let's go for it. Be brave. Income all looks fine. I think we can survive. Okay, so we still need to provide power to the cemetery while we empty it. Take all of the old road grid away. Maybe bit by bit so I don't destroy my ears. Couple more blocks. In fact, I'm going to do all of them now as well. We've already got in place is nicely stable, and I think this is going to be fine. If we just zone everything up now. So all of the road grid that we've built in the new development is zoned. Next steps there will be to extend the grid out further. But I think what I'd like to prioritise at this point is getting 18,000 population to get the crematorium. And then we'll look at the highway road structure in between the zones. Of course, there are districts here that we can now remove completely. They're no longer relevant. And extend these districts out like they should be. See a few complaints about waste pile up. plenty of garbage trucks available. We've got space in the incinerators. So my only thought is those buildings are just too far away, maybe? Do we need an incinerator closer? We could look at moving incineration to a dedicated area nearby when we do the road structure. That's an option. That landfill is now empty. Good. So we've just got the cemetery to empty. And then the whole of Old Town will be gone. What's that? Illness? Citizens are sick. So why are they not going to the clinic? There's capacity for it. Average health level is dropping. Do hospitals just do a better job than clinics at health level? Sure. Older care still isn't great even with the two facilities. Whereas childcare is great. Sure about that. Be able to fit a hospital in once we have crematorium running somewhere. Otherwise they're going to have to go next block over like the other things. Not sure why it would be necessary if healthcare availability is at its maximum. Don't think we have a problem. That's interesting. First signs of a traffic problem in the residential area. And it is that police car should be using the bus lane. It is the number of people trying to cross over that is the issue. What can we do to improve that? Sure, we can improve telling them which lane to use, but I think that'll help so much. Can we just reduce the amount of traffic moving? Where are these people going? Some of them I can see are delivery vehicles for the commercial districts. Tourists. Don't know anything about tourism. What I would like to have is an area outside of the city with a bus stop where tourists can take a bus in. Did also want to look at free transport. Assuming my difficulty getting the policy screen to open is down to some kind of mod conflict or something rather than me missing a point. I'm pretty sure when it has worked it's just by clicking that button. No big deal. Traffic is bad. Problem here is a bunch of southbound people heading eastbound on the highway, clashing with people moving from the industrial to the residential. They're all trying to change lane at the top of the bridge. I wish they wouldn't. So incineration plants are not currently processing anything out of landfill. There is one to empty, but it's not going at the moment. But their reserves are still close to full, even though they're barely using any trucks. So they still need an extra one just to process the volume of garbage we're making. It's unusual. Our jail capacity is not looking great. I would like to swap in a police headquarters to somewhere. They're not going to fit where I have the current police stations in the residential area. So I'll start with the one in the industrial area. Everything's looking quite stable. Power production's still good. Water is close to capacity but not over. I can now start removing some of the pipe work from the old city as well. Just going to assume that the cemetery still needs it, same as it needed power still. Gradually emptying. It might actually go quicker if I temporarily put a direct road into the new town. Just want to make sure that no one else uses that road, so disconnect this junction. I can just drive them up and down without having to take all the junctions that are blocked with traffic at the moment. What does the garbage screen say? It does. So the garbage production is very high, 180,000 units. We've only got 144,000 of processing. So even though we're not using anywhere near the number of garbage trucks that we have available, we still don't have enough processing. So that extra incineration plant takes us over 180 made, 192 can be processed. Demand is high for industry. Can put more in, even though it's going to make even more traffic. In fact, why don't we just zone the whole place up? Won't hurt. This junction can now go. first step of improving the highway will be rebuilding the roads that were existing, so they're spaced properly. I'll just redo this little bit that's got an odd kink in it, because that does cause people to slow down. At least tidy that up for the time being. Just pause while I do that. Nice smooth corner would be better. Double check after I've built it. Has that made anything go funny here? No traffic lights appeared anywhere. It has reset the lanes, which are not such an issue. There, so that should allow them to maintain a higher speed going around those corners. Small improvement, don't know. Factory capacity isn't great, considering we're getting rid of one. We are at 16,900 people, so we just need another 1,100. We're zoned everywhere, but I could do a few ends on little sections to grow a little bit more. We are growing weekly anyway. Suppose there might be some homes that can still level up as they get education, so yeah. Could be fine as is. Right, so I'm going to pause again and tidy this bit up, as I said. The bit where the roads go out of the section we own is always going to be funny, but we don't own it, so there's nothing we can do about it. Square lines in the bit we do own. Maybe it's just one snap away. Yeah. It's 179.5 degrees if it's not perfect, but there we go. That is going to have a very funny angle. Until I can buy the zones to the south, I think there's not much to be done for it. Just take it back a little bit so we can try and put a smoother road in. Gentle curves might do okay. That one looks fine. Maybe try that same methodology on this side. Yeah, there we go, that's nice and smooth. Or as smooth as it can be. Okay, so that one's fine. Heading south. One heading north next as well. I also want to do the one that goes across. Need to save up some money. I'm not sure. I mean, we've got nearly $900,000, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough to rebuild that much highway. Can now move my water pumping stations, the inbound water, further upstream. There we go. Then I'll actually want 3 because we're very close to capacity. Funny dogleg connection to the electricity, but there we go. Take out the 2 originals. Supply is still fine, and then the sewerage can stay where it is. I just want to redo these odd-shaped pipes now. Can't quite do until the cemetery's out of the way, unless I just disconnect it temporarily. Oh, it's not actually putting the nodules in, that's interesting. Unexpected. Lost track of where they are now. Work out what I've got. Pause while I do the last bit of it. Don't want people complaining. Add an extra one in, so we've got 3 while we're doing it. That looks fine, so I can unpause. Take out the old angled stuff. Tidy the power lines up as well, make them straighter when the cemetery's done. 450 left to move. Well, that's interesting. I have built a couple of squares too far down. Cannot make oil businesses, I think. Are my eyes going crazy? Ah, no, I see what it is. They are fine. That is the lighter ground where the oil is. This ground's changed colour because of the industrial pollution on it. So that is fine. It's not built because there's no demand. Okay, let's start doing parts of this highway heading north. Do the straight sections up to the junction first. Then we'll look at the crossroads afterwards. Perfectly lined up, good. That didn't cost much at all. Let's take out the roads going across. So what I ideally want is nice, neat, straight roads, except for where they join the edges. That doesn't look like they line up with one another anyway, so there's no way of making that straight. Might be able to do it if I brought the square to the west. So lining up on the right hand side would be preference, then those bridges aren't close enough together to do that. Lining with one of the roads on this side. Go with the top one. You need a little bend. Bit of guesswork involved, I think. Trying to line it up. I can't build highways at a right angle to highways. That is at least, yeah, one more up. More up would be good. So I think we're going to end up with bridges going over this river. Maybe some landscaping to fill in the edge. So that, I think, is very much close enough. Just do with a smooth way of joining them up. So that leaves a very funny kink right there. I don't think that can be done smooth while that's above it. Dropping it down a whole square is going to be way too far down. Create a bit more distance between them and see what can be done. Doesn't look bad, but it still creates that... It's creating that funny gantry bit because they're facing the wrong way. I'll take that away, it's not bad at all. How far was that? 2 sections? 3 sections away, I think. That one's going to be there. He's going to need, yeah, a little bend one way, a little bend the other way. That's pretty good. this one as well, see if that... Disable some of those snaps. Too far down. Try from the other direction, just can't get it to bend how I'm envisioning it. I want it to be halfway between those two guidelines. It's the opposite of the way I want it to bend. Doesn't appear to have made it better at all. That does, that looks marginally better. Okay, so now I need to flip them so the road's going the right way. Build this one going the other way. So the eastern section is all good. Let's look at this western one. It is going to use most of the space just to line up with this edge. It's going to need quite a curve, one way then the other. Yeah, and if the bridge is ending there, that's not enough space to make a smooth curve into that road. So bridge is not an option. I'm going to want to fill that river in. If you can. I'm sure I've seen a button that does that kind of thing. It does all sorts of things. That's where the pedestrian paths are. Interesting. Good. Put trees in, which I had thought about doing in all those empty spaces. Rocks and quays and canals. Interesting. Not sure there's anything in my current plans that will look better with a canal, but there we go. Let's look at filling a river in. Just want to level the river to where that road is currently. With that major line. Perhaps, yeah. That. Doesn't quite work how I'm imagining. Big brush. It's lowering it when I'd expect it to raise it. Behaving better from this side, so let's try that. But it's still raising it higher than the level I started on. Cost isn't too bad. We should be able to afford filling in as much as I want. do end up putting a hydroelectric dam downriver, that might be of concern though. Okay. So it's raised up now. It's vaguely flat, but not level with what's going on over here. So it's going to have a bunch of bends and a downhill section. Never mind. Can I improve this again? It's kind of bounced back up. Yeah, so we can just rebuild the road over it and it'll sort itself out. Does it look like enough, or do I need to go further? I need to go further over the river. Not by much more, but... oh. Not sure why it's raised the road up to get over there. Let's do a bit more landscaping. Wrong button. Wondering why it built a giant hill so quickly. It's because I told it to. It's raising the riverbed quite a bit now. Don't know if I can lower the other side. No, I don't. Don't own enough of that land. What's it doing? To smooth out and it just drops the level. Landscaping tool isn't quite working how I would understand it. Smoothing doesn't smooth. So we'll do a bit of raising. Then lower these peaks down. Better, kind of. So that's looking fine now. Hopefully that's enough land for the road. Yeah, plenty. Although, for whatever reason, it builds it up onto a ridge when I go there. Interesting. Don't think that's an issue, really. Should be fine. With the other side as well. Looks a bit funny, but there we go. Is there a button to change the colour of that? Because the riverbed is a different colour. Doesn't look like it. Could that be similar to the oil because there's a resource? No, there's not. There's some oil at the other side of the river. Some fertile land on this river. No, it's just because it was a riverbed, I guess. Okay, so joining these up. Definitely going to need to take it back away. See what can be done. A gentle curve to the left, then a straight line if we're lucky. So we can get in line with that road. No, can't do a very gentle curve. It's still kind of looking gentle enough. Joins a bit. Not very smooth. It's close to what I'm looking for. That looks pretty much spot on. Smooth curve all the way. Yep, okay. Let's try and redo the bottom one. In line with that. It's not bad. Nice at this end, and compared to the one next to it, just that particular junction. Still quite a severe angle. Yeah, I think that's enough to make them slow down there, which is what I'm trying to avoid. Use the corner tool instead. No. That. That end is now smooth. There's a very slight kink in the road on that join there. Might make them behave funny. Have to keep an eye on it, I guess. It looks like it should run okay, and then that end's good. So I've joined the east and the west connections nice and neatly. Got some very straight, nice roads in every direction. Just need to do the junction in the middle. There's all the roads. There is a pre-built one, isn't there? There. Lines up pretty good. It doesn't look like it could handle the traffic volume because the only 3-lane is the one heading east-west. Like that, but I think what I need to do before attempting this is take a quick break. Give my brain a little rest for just a minute or two. Top my drink up. Stretch my legs before they fall asleep and everything like that. So if you've been sat watching for a long time, I recommend you do the same. Just have a little walk around. And I'll just be back in, 2 or 3 minutes. And we'll look at how to do this junction. I'll see you then. I am back from my brief break. Legs are feeling much better. Brain still fuzzled by roads, but I'm sure we can work this out. That one will just drop in if I place it there. Let's take a look at it if I do. Connection's not perfect, but sure it's good enough. My concern is having traffic that's flying at 100 kilometers an hour slow down to 80 to get on these flyovers or this pass through, and then only one vehicle can fit through at a time. So I prefer it if those roads were 2 wide or 3 wide. 3's unnecessary, but 2 would be best. Can I get just a simple... don't want parking spaces because I don't want them to behave funny. Go with grass. 4-lane one-way road in the same space. Slope too steep for the 4-lane. What about 2-lane or 3-lane? Slope too steep. Okay. So upgrade all of the road sections, except this one's gone a bit funny. So I can freehand build that as well as the trees. Let's try that again from the start. Rebuilt one in. Go get a thin 3-lane road to upgrade the other way round. No, okay, fine. Oops. Accidentally swapped over a bit of highway. Get that fixed. Okay, so this end needs to be done. It's okay. Then it's just slope too steep to build it in one smooth bit. What is the button to step up? I thought it was, yeah, it is page up. See, this is the taller one because it's going over the top of that one. Could take a bit of fiddling, but that's okay. I don't think I can connect it freehand, so I want to do these just myself. I think You do those ones as well. Find my own way. So first of all, take this one back a bit. To be working on the grids so I can see what I'm doing. That doesn't help actually. I want to that's 3 away. Connect the highway to it so that I know the highway now ends 3 blocks away. A nice smooth corner. 2 blocks should be good. Actually, just want it to be slightly less than 2 blocks for what I've got in my mind. We'll take the highway to be 2 blocks away and then get the 3-lane road on a nice smooth curve. One end 3/4 of a block, I guess. Like that. Obviously the other way around. Then just need a little join from there to there. Something appears to have gone. Oh, it's just because it's not level ground. Thought it didn't quite look straight. So this connection. Further away it is, the funnier the bend gets. Can't really do a bend from any closer. Just looking for that perfect spot really, which I think is about there, which it won't allow. That. Not a huge fan of. It's not bad. If that connection between the off-ramp and the curve looks pretty good. The off-ramp looks funny, but it'll work. Okay, let's say I'm happy with that. Do the other half of that picture. There, I think. Contour. Need the curl. That was like that, and then how did I do that? Like that, okay, so it's not there. That looks like it. Yep, it's one away from that lop. Like so, that just needs to be turned around. So that connection is good. Just need to connect north and southbound to westbound, which was done on the other one with a flyover. Could either do a tunnel or a flyover. Could do one with a tunnel and one with a flyover. That way they don't have to go over themselves. So I want to start one further away down here. So we've got a section of road there pointing the wrong way. There we go. So I want to do similar to that one. So it was one away from the blue dot. Need the other road there first. Yeah, looks good. Not perfect. Good enough, I'm sure. Nothing to complain about. And then this one wants to go, let's say, up. Actually, the angle on that is not good. There's not enough space there to get up and over. If the angle on that's not good, then the angle on that is the same. I guess just because it's joining, it looks fine. That being the case, need to do this a bit different. Blue dot has moved. Why? Should be there. Don't really want an angle like that. We want a shallow angle so they can maintain speed. Taking it from the blue dot to blue dot takes us further away, which is a good thing. That allows enough height. Those steps do not look smooth. Can I do that in one move maybe? Up to 60, up to 12 meters. It's not ideal spacing. There we go, we're high enough to go over. The angle doesn't look right. Distance is pretty good to do a corner. No. Don't get a marker to start with, that's annoying. So we can't place that there because one of the supports will end up in the middle of the road. Okay. Don't think there's anything to be done for that. Unless I can somehow manually move the supports after placing the road. Take the road underneath out of the way, place them, move the supports. Let's see. Some of the guidelines out of the system, which might make this harder. Make it easier. It's 2 up and 2 across from where we are. Should be a very smooth road. Then at this end, I'm going to head back down. Use the curve. Three away from the blue, so we want to be there-ish. These guidelines are not lining up where they should do. because they're not parallel, I'm guessing. Is there some way I can get them parallel? Maybe. So for guidelines, just build out from this road. Can't do that. Okay. The bridge away. I'm after. See, I'm not even sure that they're as parallel as they're supposed to be. They are. 180 degrees both ends. Okay. Let's turn road guideline back on. Blue dots on the two sides don't line up. You can see why. That's the junction that comes off, so let's line up with that. Making a road that comes out minimum distance. No. Another road in, so that's too short. 2 blocks away. That's going to be... Let's take it one further just for tidiness. That road is going to join this. Not there, but there. Okay. Other way around, but there. It allows for a good junction rejoining. Very happy with that. The up and over needs to get... Let's do the same this end as well. Move that back one. It's not in the right place either. Let's redo this all over again. There's 2 blocks between them, and that bit's straight. And then this bit doesn't look right. Should be. No, the blue dots are misleading again. That's where it should go. That does look nice. Or nicer. Could do with 3-lane without a pavement, really. So that it doesn't make the pedestrian crossing, unless... Does this mod have an option to remove? There, yeah, disallows pedestrians from crossing. Disallows them from crossing, but doesn't actually change the graphics of it. Is there an option for that? Doesn't look like it. No, never mind then. We will just have to hope that no pedestrians happen to wander out this way for whatever reason. They really shouldn't, but there we go. Never know. Okay, so if that's a straight bit of road, why don't we use that to step up? Probably because I can't get the angle right if I do that. Just put a bit of road up there so that I can get the snap angle. $12 all at once, or do I want to? Could stretch that a little further and have a smoother. Doesn't look too bad at 12 meters really. Let's finish it off and then we can see how I feel about it. So we've got this end here. Is that complaining because of the tree? No, it's complaining about that road underneath. Okay. By the way, we went 3 up and across. It's close, so it's not quite on a kind of grid. That is 3 whole blocks and a bit away. That is 2 whole blocks and a bit away. So this junction on the westbound can probably move slightly to the east. I did one that was... can't see the grid lines. Kind of want to move this forward. Which we can't because that road is in the way. Move this one forward almost the whole block. It's 2 snaps before. I'm going to go 3 snaps before. I guess, and then do 2 blocks up, 2 blocks across, gives us a smooth corner. Then we want straight road going down over 1, no, 2, 3 blips away from a block still up. That makes that smooth. Then we've got the bridge back down to the ground. And then we do the junction, which is just 1 section long. Curve, so it should be that, I think. Should be slightly further forward. Sure I'll be able to achieve that. Should be 1. No, because of how that's snapping, I don't think I can. If I turn that off, I've got no snap at all on that road. So I'll have to just put it close enough. Junction looks good, at least. I am now considering 3 lanes splitting off to 3 lanes is great. 3 lanes joining 3 lanes is not as good. 2 might have been better. Never mind, we'll try it with 3 and we'll see how it behaves. So the thing I need to do here is whether this mod lets me move that to the centre. It does, that's wonderful. That should be enough that I can reconnect these roads. Not quite. There we go. There is one flyover bridge and a nice smooth curve with nice smooth junctions. Just got to put the other side in. I like the idea of sending the other side underground. Lifting it up to 24 metres high or whatever, it's going to look ugly. So I want to mirror this junction. First step is to get the distance right, so that's the right distance. Now we get the curve right. That's a direct mirror, just needs to be going the other way, like that. And this section should actually be going underground, so let's... How do I get the angle right? That's... Maybe if I put that in, I can force a 90-degree angle on it. I can, good. So from there, it's 3 bits short of a full block. There? No, that's not right. That has snapped onto something I don't want it to. There. Then we want a corner that is 2 blocks forward, 2 to the right. That's not correct. It's not lined up with the other one. I think that tunnel is not going far enough forward. Let's try that again. Because I snapped it with that and not with the other side. That does mean that that's not in the right place. It is where it is, so I'm happy with how it looks. We'll just make this the same, right or wrong. It's the next step now that needs to go 3 back from that line. That's the line, so 1, 2, 3 is there. Which looks to be in line with that post. Yes. This should now do the corner better. It was... Two forward is there. 2 to the right is there. That looks mirrored. Looks great. Feeling confident about this road now. I do just need to turn them round. Okay, so the next step is to do that little bit that's not quite a full length. there and then come above ground. Like so. Go around as well. So we're now above ground. Yeah, roughly the right. Yeah, we come up next to that junction, a little further beyond. A little further beyond. Okay, so we just need to now do the curvy bit that joins. Which comes from there, like that. That is the whole junction. People heading eastbound can head southbound. The only thing they can't do here is do a U-turn. So if you're heading eastbound, you can't head westbound. You'd have to go up. You'd have to come down to this clover leaf. I don't know how often the AI spawns a vehicle that needs to do a U-turn, so this performs the same function that the pre-built one would have, so I think I can be happy with it. If I wanted eastbound to be able to go westbound, I would need an option to turn off the southbound and fly over, which I'm not going to do. So no, I'm happy with that. We just need to use the traffic mod to make a few changes. So speed limit first. I want them to maintain 100 on every section of this road. Slowing down to 40 kilometers an hour would be a disaster. Sure if there's a downside to actually increasing everything to like 140, the highest setting. Don't know. I'd rather stick with the speed limits that the base game uses, so highways are 100, then we'll stick with 100. Everything, so that offshoot is 100, that offshoot is 100, the bridge going over is 100, and the tunnel going under is 100. Good. And then just lane collection is the only other thing we need. Joining traffic to have a lane that is definitely clear. I think. Something like that. The inside and outside lane can go straight. The others share. Yeah, this is where I'm not sure about having 3 lanes join 3 lanes. Even so, 2 lanes wouldn't necessarily be any different. The second would still have to share. And 1 lane I don't think is enough. So really, what I might want is just to force them to stay in lane. Not sure about that. Creates overlap, so outside lane joining to outside lane. There's a lot of overlap with other traffic that they need to wait on, but it does prevent people trying to do something silly. Might be able to make a better decision if I understood how the traffic AI worked. That's probably way too complicated for me. Let's go with the original idea. Push the traffic on the main road out of the way. Which, I mean, even that I'm not sure is necessary. Now that I think about it, if I just set a priority and a yield, that could be enough to make them behave in a sensible manner. Where they join. So there's a join there, there's a join here, so set priority on the main road. There's a join there, so set priority on the main. Or is that the wrong way round? That's the wrong way round, isn't it? Priority is the diamond, yield is the triangle. You can tell that we don't have that system in the country I drive in. So the ones where they're splitting off, this is how I want it. The default setting, the middle lane can go either way. The right lane must turn right, the left lane must go straight. Don't see any reason to change that. That's how it's defaulted everywhere, so that's as long as those symbols are reflecting the behaviour of the traffic, then I think that's all I needed to do. Give priority to the main roads. Kind of feels like this junction's finished. How long was I staring at this same patch of land? Good half hour at least. Kind of feels worth it. I really like that junction. A bit more pessimistic about the other junctions that we need to do further south, but we'll see how they go when we get to that. Looks like I'm ready to unpause. Let's go for it. Then watch my... exactly what I was worried would happen. That river's no longer wide enough to handle the water coming downstream, and the road has flooded out. Let's just give it a bit of time to settle. Let the water flow a bit. Maybe I can dig the river deeper. At some point. Let's have a look at that. Can I? A little bit, yeah, I can. Deepen the bottom of the river a bit. And lift that particular section, looks like a weakness. That wave of water is coming to ruin our day. See if I can just sink it into a pond or something. Oh well. Smooth this out a bit actually, let's... I want to smooth the landscape here a little. So the riverbank's a bit higher now, which is good. Just want to make that road join a bit smoother in the landscape. Smooth this edge as well. Not really, no. Just digs down into the river. That'll do. That'll smooth it out a bit. Then yeah, let's dig a little further, make the riverbanks a bit steeper. It's good that we're doing this while it's raining, because that at least gives us an idea of how to behave in maximum water levels. And now I guess we just have to let the water flood out a few buildings. Sink this lot off of the road as well. Can make it awkward when we come to build here later, but let's at least get it working for now. Tunnel is flooded. Clear that up. Okay. No big disasters. Good. Okay. Just a few new ponds. Okay. Traffic appears to be flowing nicely at the moment. Well, it's not particularly heavy. Everyone appears to be maintaining high speeds as they take these corners. There's a little bit of a tailback there. It didn't last long. So that's happened from someone in the outside moving in, cutting in front of someone, just like in real life. Looks fine. Very happy with that little junction. Good. So, how is our... There we go, yep. Cemetery is now emptied. Clear that out. Could get rid of that road. Get rid of these power lines. And these water pumps. We have reached 18,000 population. Excellent. That's great. We've unlocked another area we can buy. Haven't yet decided which one I'd like to do, so no rush there. We've unlocked the crematorium, which is what I've been after next. And a water treatment plant. Interesting. Can reduce the environmental impact. I like that idea. We shall look into that. How does that line up? That was in the right place already. Great. Ah, of course it was. I lined it up ahead of time. Yep. So that's good. It's just the power lines that were not perfectly aligned. So do that. Good. What does that leave then? Let's look at that. Waste, what was it? Water treatment. So purifies 80% of the pollution. You put it on the waterfront and it just reduces the amount of brown that comes out. Okay. Capacity of 160,000 cubic meters. So we could replace our 3 drain pipes with 2 water treatment plants. We've certainly got the money to run them, so if that's the greener thing to do, it might balance out the that oil production that we're using. Just pause while I do this. see where they connect. Back there, okay. That's neat enough. Okay, that's a nice change to make for the city. Now, the next thing we need is crematorium. Capacity, this is a weekly capacity of 105. We have 4,000 buried people to work through. A small building, very small building. Trying to squeeze it in somewhere, maybe. Minimal impact if we need to knock something out. Oh, I didn't think about the centre of those commercial zones. That's a thought to follow up on. So ultimately those cemeteries are going to go. We can move crematoriums into their space. Well, there are other things to put in their space now. Well, time being, the bridge is out of the residential area, or not used so much, so that section of road is be okay to squeeze a couple on there, maybe. One possibility. Don't really want to put them in the middle of a commercial zone or a residential zone. I want to put them in a service area, so maybe I move a different service out. We can unpause. Now, what are the other services? What could we move? I want to replace the clinics with hospitals, so I can move the clinics out and build hospitals elsewhere. To upgrade the firehouse to a fire station. Fire station could go elsewhere. I think that's kind of inevitable, that if I want to do the police as well, they can't both fit up here. Other than that, there's an elementary school, which I could take the one out of the centre there because we've got the ones on the edges. We need more as well. Let's do that. I've just noticed those are in the wrong place. So we've got one there. So let's put it kind of mirror down here. Yeah, that's right. And then move this one out here. That didn't look right. Should be a gap of... Oh, it is. Okay. That means the only potential issue is I don't think the bus lines don't go that to the edge. So there's a bit of a distance between the bus stop and the elementary schools. Might be a lot of car traffic then. We might deal with that later. Could expand our metro system in some degree. We'll just wait and see if we get a traffic issue with people driving to the elementary schools. Either way, let's set up the mirror in the other half of town. That one will go there. That should actually be there. That one should be there. And this one, wherever it was, go over here. That should also mean that our capacity is now sufficient. It's just made the people in the centre of town are not quite as happy about distance to the nearest elementary school. And they get closer high schools, so there you go. Okay. That creates a little gap in the middle there. But for the time being, we're going to put crematorium into one each side, I guess. So they're up and running. One of these cemeteries can be emptied. And if our incineration plants have got capacity spare, yeah, tiny bit, let's start emptying this landfill as well. Get it out of the way so we can work on the roads over here. Because they definitely need working on. Look at that. Collision between people heading southbound, heading east, and those heading east wanting to go north. It's not a good junction. So the way to avoid those two specific groups from clashing is to have the eastbound heading north junction before the southbound heading east. It just prevents people from using the junction to go southbound heading north. It is a mess. That'll be a fun challenge, that's for sure. So industry is just complaining a bit about lack of workers. There is high demand for residential. I think we are high density everywhere, so it is time to add another block. There's also medium demand for commercial, which is a bit awkward. Don't really have a planned spot to put any more commercial in. At least if we did, it would only be a small amount, so maybe we need to add 2 more rows in. One that's the same as the current residential, 3 commercial, residential, and then a full residential block beneath that. Let's get the roads in to begin with. That crosses, yeah, it's time for the bus on the cross route as well. Like so. Then we need the little gravel path for the park. Probably not enough parks around the place. We could put some of them along the edges. Can put some of them along the edges, but then I will want bus routes out there. It's just something to bear in mind. Or we put the tiny little roads heading into every square. That's another option that could work okay. That one's in the wrong place. Interesting. Which means this one's in the wrong place as well. Doesn't like snapping there. Okay. I think it could be a good idea to put a park in the centre of everyone. Unless trees increase land value. Where's land value view? Wow, it's really quite good in some of those areas. It might not even be necessary. Looking at that, we're just going to have an empty bit here. What we've done with the commercial at the top is put a whole road in. We could do that on these ones as well, or we could put a park in the middle. I think we'll put a road in, because we are losing some of the commercial zoning to the service buildings that we're putting in that area. And then if we want to increase land value, I'll put some parks down the edge in between the elementary schools. Yeah, looking at that, I'm a lot more confident with the land value. So, yes, we need 2-lane with parking, dead centre, all commercial zones. Like so. Zone out the whole lot of it. Ah, but that is a high school, isn't it? That's fine. I mean, it could go into this one with the elder care. I would like to move it into the same one as the elder care. Go on the back like that. We'll put a bus stop next to it. That feels better to me. Just do the same on the other side of town. Which we will need to build a square in, because we haven't gone that far yet over here. Bus lane one across there. Move the high school onto the back. And zone high density commercial into these new spaces. Good. So that has dropped our demand for commercial quite significantly, which makes me wonder about how many we're putting in. Let's start with residential. We can do bit by bit. We know those two outside ones are going to be residential, so let's let them develop for a while and then see what we're asking for. That gravel road is in the wrong place. A few complaints again about garbage not being collected. Oh, that's because I've asked them to empty that landfill, which is going to use up some of the capacity, or a lot of the capacity. God, that traffic is terrible. Why is the traffic in the residential so much smoother than the one in the industrial? Is it just volume of trucks, I guess? Trucks can't be replaced by buses or trains or anything. That's an issue. Fun to work on those roads. I don't think I want to start that road project in this session, as I will be finishing up the stream in about 20 minutes or so. So you want to focus on, yeah, what we're doing down here, balancing. So that's immediately just those two sections. They're not even fully built, and it's eaten all of the demand for residential. I feel like the next thing we need to plan is going to be that kind of office zone. I wonder if you can put the offices... Some more complaints coming up. I'm going to pause that. No, don't want to pause that. I'll start putting rubbish into the landfill. Just build another incineration plant is the answer, I guess. The other thought I was halfway through, can you just put offices in the middle of the residential area? Offices don't create pollution in the same way that industry does, I assume. Do they create noise, maybe? That could be a problem. Surround them with trees, just then don't have parking. I could try it. I could just zone some offices down here and see what happens. Ah, no water up there. Classic worm forgetting the pipes again. Can always, I mean, things how they are very stable. Good population, good income, big cash reserves. So even if I have to undo putting the offices here, I don't think it's going to be a disaster. So I'll just zone some and we'll see what happens. Our next incineration plant might have not been enough. Once that landfill's empty, I don't think we'll have an issue. Now the numbers. Actually, it's very close even now. Let's do another. Garbage production is at 200 and approaching 240,000 units a week. It's a lot of garbage. Oh, I can access my policies. Can I reduce garbage? Yes, recycling reduces garbage at the cost of income. We can afford that. Parks are better. Education. Don't really need to prioritise it. Free public transport. Increased usage. Let's do that. We don't make a lot of money and it would be good to maximise or minimise car traffic. Don't think we want any of the others. Taxation options. Don't really need to. We'll look at that if money becomes an issue, I guess. Then planning. High density commercial double their sales. That's maths that I wouldn't know where to start with. They double their sales, it increases our tax income, I guess, but it costs us $4 per building. Kind of would perhaps need to look at a before and after to know if it was worth it. The industrial one doubles the goods produced, which I don't want to do because that will double the traffic, I guess. Increased land value at the cost of money. Don't think I need to at the moment, at least. Don't think we have a traffic issue. There could become a traffic issue with having the commercial zones in the middle of the residential zones, but no issue so far, and reducing residential traffic should make that less of an issue. We're not running any toll roads and I don't really see the point, so that's not an issue. We don't necessarily want to remove all of our uneducated workplaces, so Recycling and free public transport. I want to enable in the other residential area. And then recycling in the... Oh, and free public transport in the industrial area. These districts all need extending. Try and do it neatly. It's kind of, I mean, that's the oil industrial area kind of finished. Just the traffic issue that needs resolving. Oh, it's getting worse. So we'll need a new industrial area if we're going to expand industry at all. See a few offices cropping up down there. It's nice. We'll just put the road system in at the end of this one as well to mirror what we've got. The bus lanes and the trees. Don't forget the water pipes. Okay. Let's take a look at those offices. Covered by more services to upgrade. Covered by healthcare. A little extra fire coverage would be good at the ends. Okay. Policing is fine. Yeah, education coverage isn't. It's going to need a bit more soon. Especially university. It's doing okay, the capacity's okay. High school capacity is close to limit. The library is used about as often as real world ones. Not much. Do want to change the the bus routes. Change or just extend, probably. Stopping in the middle of every block. They also, so from here they want to, I guess they're going to have to do a figure of 8 if they're going to stop next to the metro line. So the red route will then go from there to there, to there. No, that's not right. Back one. There and there, here and here. So it does the same. It's the opposite side of the road. People have to cross over, but they do anyway. So it does a short loop there and then a same sized loop on the next section. Yep. Do the same with the yellow on this side. So after stopping there, they go around the corner. To there, I think. Let's say yes. From there to here, there over to that side, and another one. That block, and then back across the middle. Looks right. But 2 stops here, which is unnecessary, I guess, because of the coverage of the next one, so it should be there instead. That one can go there. And do the same down here, one more stop outside the school, which is good. Okay. What point does the bus depot hit a limit? This one's got 37 buses in usage. Can it just operate infinite buses out of one depot? Yes, I hope. I don't know if I need a depot closer to here, if it makes any difference at all. Everything seems to be flowing okay, so no reason to stress about it. Cemetery is emptying gradually, that's good. That landfill is half empty. Okay. So the next thing was fire coverage. I can put another little one in. I might as well put... Got a block of services in the middle here, so we might as well put things with that. Put a fire station. Full-sized one like so. Lots of green happy faces for it. Does that mean I could take away the fire houses? Little ones at the top. A few grumpy faces, but hopefully that's just temporary. So fire coverage is still green lines on every road. Every house is blue, so the next risk is actually at the end of the industrial, because we've only got the one at the top end. So I'm going to put another firehouse at the bottom end of the industrial zone as well. Might be excessive, but I think it's all good. Those roads are supposed to be bus ones. Okay. So demand is now hovering around needing commercial and residential again. Happy on the industry. The offices still want more services to upgrade. So do I need to move? Why don't I do the same with the police? Might as well do the same. It's not really necessary, but I'll move full-sized police HQ into that little service square and remove the little police stations from the top. Hope that doesn't make these commercial buildings collapse. They need services as well, maybe? Don't know. Might just be offices. They want more. Maybe a park would be a good idea. That's that option, isn't it? Which is the little Japanese garden? Yeah, that's what we've been using. Drop those into place. Still want more services. Don't really know what they mean by that, I guess. Maybe. That's fine. If it can't be done here, then we'll move the offices somewhere else. entry school availability isn't looking amazing, so yes, we do need to... We've got one for each 2 rows. We need another down here. They don't look... they're not evenly spaced because that's on the bottom end, that's on the top end, so let's... If we move that to the middle end, then everything will be even. Can we? It's 6 long, so they should fit. So 4 from that end is... So there is the middle. That has interfered with the electrical pylons. Same on this side, move it to the middle. Right? No. That's the middle, okay. That's good. The officers are now asking for more education rather than anything else. Still demand for residential, so let's put those blocks in. Some commercial, not sure whether these little corners would be enough, I doubt it. Especially with another 4 blocks of residential to develop. Probably need a whole block or so. Not sure what's best there. Ooh, that's a lot of traffic. Kind of looking forward to working out how we fix all that. In some ways. Clicking on power issues. Guessing the wind has dropped. The oil one's fine. It's a very minor issue. Can we... Any of the new areas we've bought fit? No, the advanced ones aren't worth building. Let's just put a few more little ones in this corner and they'll do temporarily. Guess from a power production point of view, the next stage will be considering a hydroelectric dam. We've got a river that we can do. Slightly concerned if we stick it across here that we'll end up flooding the whole city. Don't know, the banks of the river look deep enough to dam it. Only one way to find out, I suppose. We'll have to try that at some point. So, I'm going to assume we're going to need both, so I'm going to not zone that one yet, but we'll zone some more commercial in here. That's what's needed next. Traffic in the city is still flowing reasonably. Did I enforce lane connections here? No, I didn't. Okay. Me. Ah, yes. Forced all traffic out of the internal lines here. Could be causing. Don't know, we'll see if that's an issue. As the traffic builds up more, at the moment it seems fine. That cemetery is finished emptying. So we can start emptying this one. That landfill is still going a little bit, 30% left to go. Good. I've made a lot of progress today. Extending the residential areas a few blocks each, finishing off the oil industry area, creating a huge traffic issue over there. Did a nice neat little junction up here, which I had great fun doing. That has a small traffic issue. Not too bad, they are joining. Might consider forcing people out of the inside lane there so that it keeps flowing to some degree at all times. It's looking good. And that is all I have time for today. So let's save it. Make sure I do that, don't forget. And of course, say thank you very much for joining me. Whether you've been here watching live or caught this on a video later. All of the older videos, if you weren't aware, the ones that have expired off Twitch are available on YouTube. I've just been uploading everything there, dumping it all on so that it's available for a longer time. There's a link to that YouTube in my profile here on Twitch, so you can find older videos if you've any interest in that. If you've been enjoying what you're watching and you haven't already, please do click the follow button on Twitch. I am growing steadily. It's very nice to see, but every follow is an enormous amount of help, so I do appreciate it. I will be back continuing our little city here in a couple of days, so Friday morning, same time, so Friday 10 AM GMT, I'll be here continuing this.